All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update, and I really wanted to get an update yesterday and much earlier today, but I have been extremely busy. But I had to finally get this video in. We have a lot to cover today. There's been a lot of information that has been passed around online, and everything from the Superman trailer to Warner Brothers possibly being sold, and, well, DC specifically, and we're going to talk about all of that today. So we're going to jump in here. Now, before I do, if you guys like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm trying to get to 20,000 subs, and I can only do that with your help. I appreciate everybody who supported me up until this point. Let's get started. First up, I think we already all knew this, but it is a fact now that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to the CCXP. So this will be happening, I believe, on December 4th and 5th, if I'm not mistaken. And this is where they do expect the Superman trailer to be released. And we'll talk more about that as we go through a lot of these grabs that I have for you today. Shortly after my last video, James Gunn came out and debunked the Barry Keoghan Joker series. He said there is absolutely no truth to this. A Joker series is not being discussed, nor has even come up at this time. Sorry. Now, what's crazy about this is James Gunn is very quick. If you ever notice when there are any rumors coming out about the Gunverse, James Gunn is quickly coming in and debunking things. And if you noticed, most of the time it's no, that's not happening, no, that's not happening, no, that's not happening. And the reason I think he's so quick to do this is he just wants his stuff to shine. Nobody can deny this at this stage. In fact, I'm going to show you something he did in regards to the Penguin that I thought was quite disgusting, quite frankly. And what's crazy about this is he won't do this with the rumors from his stuff. He'll just say, oh, don't believe it unless it comes from me. Yet, you have Deadline and you have Variety releasing a lot of information from the DCU that he's not even discussing. But as soon as something is discussed about the Reeves-verse, he definitely comes out and will debunk it as quickly as possible. Now, I thought this was pretty crazy, and this is true. This actually came, I believe, from Variety. Tim Dillon, who played a random guard in Joker 2, says the film is the worst film that has ever been made. And he talked about how ridiculous and how just disorganized it felt on set and that there was no coherence to anything. Now, the thing is, I don't know Tim Dillon at all. He may have never worked on a film before, but movies in general, when you film them, feel a little disjointed because, number one, they don't film things in order. So I don't know how much of an accurate assessment this is, but there is no question that the movie wasn't good. It's definitely not the worst film ever made. I've seen worse, that is for sure. Now, I thought this was pretty awesome. So DCU Update said, instead of debunking a clearly false rumor, how about putting pressure on Matt to finish the Batman 2 script? He put that in quotes. This person had said, instead of debunking a clearly false rumor, and he was talking about the Joker, how about putting pressure on Matt to finish the Batman 2 script? James Gunn responded and said, well, firstly, too late, already debunked it. Secondly, putting pressure on writers doesn't necessarily help the creative process or result in a better script. I find it hard to believe that Matt Reeves has been writing this movie for the last 3 years. I think that they have held off for so long that they're hoping that the movie just goes away. I really do. I'm hoping the Batman 2 gets made, but until I actually see it go into production and it gets a release, even though they have a date, I'm not believing this for a second because I do believe that James Gunn wants nothing but his stuff floating around out there. Now, for those who are into comics, there is a new series that will be releasing here in December. It is called Batman Dark Patterns, and it is going to be a 12-issue series, and there are going to be 4 stories. So each story is going to take up 3 issues, and it's going to be a kind of a darker take on the early years of Batman. And so if you want to get this, definitely check with your comic shop. I do expect this to be a pretty popular series. So in my last video, I was asking about Nicholas Hoult, possibly playing Superman or auditioning for it, and that's not what it was. It was about losing the Batman role to Robert Pattinson. He said, yeah, of course it is an emotional blow because your imagination doesn't know. I was like, this is going to be a cool movie. So then there's obviously a weird period before you can get to the acceptance and say, oh yeah, that works. That was the right choice. So honestly, I would have loved him over Robert Pattinson. But, honestly, I'm actually rewatching this series with Chris Pratt on Amazon. And I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of it off the top of my head. But where he plays, he's a special forces guy, and he comes back and his whole team had been killed. It's a great series on Amazon, and I wish I could remember the name off the top of my head. But, I was watching, especially the first episode, he has this fight with somebody in a CT scan room. He fights a couple of guys off, and I could totally see him being Batman. I really saw it in that scene. Like, I thought, well, hey, he could probably actually pull it off if he had to. So I wouldn't be surprised if Chris Pratt will end up being the Batman in the DCU, if they even get that far. Now, these are the things I think are ridiculous, and this just goes to show you who James Gunn is. He doesn't want the core characters. Somebody asked him, how about a Condiment King series? James Gunn said, I'll back it. Matt Reeves' Condiment King series right now. Ball is in Matt's court. Whatever. Whatever. Here's more from Tom Dillon, the comedian who starred in The Joker 2. He said, it's the worst film ever made. It's not even hate-watchable. That's how terrible it is. He said it has no plot. We would sit there, me and these other guys, we're all dressed in these security outfits because we're working at the Arkham Asylum, and I would turn to one of them, and we'd hear this crap, and I'd go, what the F is this? And they'd go, this is going to bomb, man. I go, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. We were talking about it at lunch, and we'd go, what is the plot? Is there a plot? I don't know. I think he falls in love with her in the prison. It's not even hate-watchable. That's how terrible it is. These quotes coming from people on the inside, it's just freaking hilarious. All right, now, somebody posted this, and I'll tell you why I don't think this is going to work. Someone is leaning towards thinking that Hush is going to be the main villain of the Batman Part 2. And I'll tell you why that won't work. But before I do, what he's showing here is these photos that definitely lead to basically you believing that Hush could be part of the story. And even Matt Reeves said he did put some things in the film that could lead to Hush in the future. But we haven't even had a Robin yet. And so you can't go into Hush without Robin. You have to have somebody who can play certain characters, and they don't have that yet. This whole entire universe has not been fleshed out yet other than the Batman movie and the Penguin series that just ended. So I don't see how they could possibly go into Hush. I do believe that they will probably go into the Court of Owls, which would work great in that universe and wouldn't require the other people to be around yet and would be very good for a second or third year Batman. So this is the post by James Gunn that I just shake my head at. He went out of his way not to promote the Penguin at all. Like, almost at all. Anytime he would talk about the Penguin, first of all, he neglected to put the first trailer out. Second of all, anytime he would post about the Penguin, he wouldn't say anything. He'd just put the penguin emoji. But anytime he promotes his stuff, he makes it this big thing. And he said, don't miss the final episode of DC Studios' The Penguin. Congrats to Matt Reeves, L.A., Kristen Milani, and Lauren LaFranc, and Colin Farrell on a great season. Then he goes on to say, with endings come new beginnings. The series premiere of Creature Commandos arrives this December, and Peacemaker Season 2 in 2025. Which, again, he could have done a separate post. He couldn't just let Matt Reeves have the limelight. And this is the crazy thing about Gunn, because these are his projects. And it's not just that he's the CEO. He goes out of his way to promote the stuff that he's a part of. But he couldn't give two craps. He couldn't give two craps about the Penguin, and it's shown in all of his posts since the show came out, and before it even came out. More on the Batman 2 and the Penguin, possibly a Season 2, Colin Farrell has signed up to appear as the Penguin in 3 Batman films. That does not include the show. I was told I have 5 or 6 scenes in the Batman 2. And he's also said that he will come back if they decide to do a Penguin Season 2. Here it is. Colin Farrell open to Penguin Season 2. He said, of course, I would do it. Now, IGN posted this, and I thought this was weird. Nicholas Hoult has secret selfies of himself dressed as Batman and Superman. How? Just weird news. Just chalk it up to weird news. Okay. So it says, the next chapter in Matt Reeves' epic crime saga, The Batman 2 releases only in theaters October 2nd, 2026. I will be surprised. I will be shocked if it meets that 2026 date. I will be shocked. They need to start filming that thing soon. So I am not convinced yet that it's even going to be made. All right, so here is James Gunn on the Superman trailer. Somebody asked him, when is the Superman trailer coming out? Because I am seeing Captain America Brave New World trailer, Thunderbolts trailer, Peacemaker Season 2 first look, and now Mission Impossible Final Reckoning trailer. And I'm like, where's the Superman trailer at? James Gunn said, it's on my hard drive. But seriously, all 3 of those projects come out months before us. And I think he kind of misses the point. Now, they're actually going around and taking out and taking down all of the set photos and all of the photos that have been shared in a lot of my videos and also, on social media. They're taking down those early look photos. They're trying to take everything away. And I have some thoughts behind that I'll talk about here in a few minutes with one of the grabs that I have. More stuff on the Penguin Season 2. Matt Reeves confirms that talks for the Penguin Season 2 have begun. The idea of revisiting means that we have to keep that same bar. We do believe that there's going to be something in there. And he's talking about the story and making sure that it is worthy of doing another season. So here was the news that I woke up to today, and I thought about doing a video just on this, but I figured I'd just do one long DC video, and you guys can watch this video in chunks. But somebody said, oh shit, nobody caught that from the latest piece about Warner Brothers Discovery on The Hollywood Reporter. And here's what it says. Now, this has to do with some research people and investors. He said, I do not think Malone is going to push this short term, but it seems like Warner Brothers Discovery inevitably gets sold or broken up. Pivotal Research Group analyst Jeff Walderzak says. As for breakup possibilities, Robert Ruth, analyst at FBN Securities, notes that Malone could push to seek to have them take DC public as a separate entity via either a tracking stock or regular IPO to highlight the true value of the Warner Brothers Discovery library, as that would be the easiest way to do it. This led a lot of people to say that Warner Brothers Discovery or that DC is going to be sold. They could easily, guys. I've been following the stock. I've been following the analysts for several years now. And it has gotten to the point, it is a fact, their stock is still below $10. And it's gotten to the point where investors are irritated. They cannot stay on the course that they're on. Something is going to happen with Warner Brothers Discovery and with the DC brand in general. It cannot continue down this course. Those photos being pulled off because of Superman may mean that they might be getting ready to just maybe erase this whole thing to begin with. They may now they might be seeing the writing on the wall. I just don't think Superman is going to do that well. I have yet to be wrong on one of my predictions on when films come out, what's going to happen to it. And I don't believe that Superman is going to make I bet it makes below $500 million at the box office, which will not be a success. They'll try to label it as a success, but I'm betting it doesn't even make $500 million. And this company is in serious trouble. Their investors are irritated. Something is going to happen. Whether it happens before or after Superman remains to be seen. We're going to see just how committed Warner Brothers is to Superman and to James Gunn coming up. Now, I thought this was pretty cool. I will definitely be picking this up. The Penguin is getting a limited series release on 4K Steelbook on March 17th of 2025. This will not, guys, this is not going to be, this will be limited, I will tell you that. They've done this with some of the Star Wars stuff where they release it for a short time and then it's gone for good. And it will probably never be released again. So if this is something you're interested in, you're going to want to grab it as soon as it becomes available. All right, guys, so there you have it. A lot of stuff to cover again in today's video, but there's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts going on. I will be covering all of the DC stuff, and as more information gets released, I will definitely be covering it. I do appreciate all of the support, and again, if you like today's video, please hit that like button below, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified as I have new videos go up. We will see you guys on the next video.